let's tell everybody about our grannies. Let's start there.
Yeah,
Do you want to start with your
with
granny?
my
Or should we
granny.
start with my granny because she was kind of the OG
I think maybe because
granny?
she was the OG, you
Okay.
know.
So my granny, and Ricki would also call her granny, but was Granny Rosella.
Yeah.
And we 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 loved our granny so much. And I think, like, I don't want to get emotional. My granny is here with me tonight, and she'd be very, actually, she wouldn't be stoked we were doing this. She'd be
No,
like, what are you doing?
I
She'd
know.
be like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Look at all this gear. It
Yeah.
probably cost a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So she probably wouldn't be stoked.
No.
But our Granny Rosella was she was an incredible lady. She was the oldest of 11 children. She was a black sheep. So she was the woman at that time who wore the red lipstick and wanted to drive and like do all the things that women didn't really do.
Yeah.
And she was a bit of a force to be reckoned with. And she was still traditional in the sense that she raised her kids. My grandpa was, I think, he was like a farmer. They owned a ranch, very, prairie people,
Yeah.
and Granny just was one of those people who her house was always welcoming, and she was like, she baked the cookies, she
Yeah.
baked the buns and stuff, but Granny was, what's the word, like, she was not like a typical housewife. She was
No.
very, like, she'd be out breaking horses with Grandpa.
Yes.
She was like running that place. She wasn't like soft and cuddly and warm. She
No.
wasn't like the cutesy little grandma. She was like the cowboy
Hmm.
boot, like
Yes.
saddle slinging kind of woman. And she was like such a role model for all of us.
Oh, definitely.
And their place, and I know your granny carried this tradition on, but their place was open door.
Hmm.
We were so proud to bring our friends there. Even as teenagers, we were so happy to bring our friends there,
Yeah.
to just be able, it was like our open door policy. If we wanted to stay the night, we wanted to come anytime. We'd drive our crappy little cars up when we were teenagers to just be there. And any other relatives might be there at the same time. You never knew who would be there.
No,
It
it was
didn't matter.
always a
You
surprise.
belonged.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but
it.
you belonged.
Yes.
This was your place. So that was Granny Rosella, and I can't wait to share more about her
Oh,
to other
I
people.
know. She
But
was.
introduce us to Granny Carol.
Um, she too was a very strong woman. Um, I don't know if I'd call her a black sheep. She just sort of totally did her own thing. Um,
That's right.
you know, uh, the most supportive, loving granny I have ever met. But yes, strong woman. She too was out there, with the horses and, helping grandpa and, um, yeah, she was a very strong woman. And she too had an open door policy. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
that kind of
Yeah.
spilt into my home because I have an open door policy. Anybody can come here whenever they want. And, I think I got that from her. Uh,
We're on the internet now, Ricky, so you might not want to say that.
I,
You
yeah,
might,
so
might
no,
need
I
to edit
don't.
that out.
I don't have a door. It's locked.
It's locked. Big
Yeah.
dog.
But yeah, but yeah, I mean, she was an absolutely amazing woman. Like,
Yeah.
um, I'm so thankful to have had her in my life. Um, just because, she, she just was always like the glue that held our
Yeah,
family
yeah.
together. And
Yeah.
um, very, very strong, opinionated lady, you know.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
but I'm very
But
grateful.
she was really supportive. Yeah, and she was my dad's older sister.
Yeah.
So just for like a little frame of
Yes.
reference, but yeah, but it was always like that, like with the women in our family. It seems like there is very much that open door hospitality type. always food, always family, you know. I
Yeah.
never felt like I wasn't welcome,
No.
you know,
No. I
and
think
that's
for my
always been
Oh,
so
sorry.
great. No, go.
um, I think for myself, um, I was so welcomed into her home because my mom had me when she was young, and I ended up living with my grandparents for most of my life. So I was very fortunate to have that structured, strict upbringing. But I was so lucky to have had her because she gave me that stability and,
Mhm.
never made me feel like I was interrupting anything that her and grandpa were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think these women are the people we aim to take after,
Hmm.
right? We want to take after them. And this whole idea of Granny's Basement podcast is about this gathering place. It's about intentionally bringing that back, these fun moments, you know, the basement memories were always fun. There's a big pool table down there, you know, the
Yeah.
cousins were all, but it wasn't always fun for you. You were actually the youngest.
Hmm. Yeah. I can honestly say that as many happy memories as the basement does bring me, I'm also traumatized, because I was the youngest and I did live with my grandparents. So my aunts were not much older than me. And, they told me Dracula lived in the basement and, told me all sorts of scary stuff. And, my granny would always,
That sounds like them.
yes. And so, Granny Carol, she would tell me to go get jam, and I would take my cat with me and like leave him for dead because I had to go buy these big black cutouts in the basement. And so I had to go get jam. And so I'd be like, come with
Needed a
me.
distraction. It's
Yeah.
like an offering.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, there you go. But yeah, they kind of
Uh,
did a number on me.
well, all in all, welcome to Granny's Basement
Yes.
podcast. We are going to bring you with us in all our memories, in the wisdom of these amazing, great women.
Yeah.